Greetings. This is Apostle Biggers-Vails, your deliverance coach. And today we want to talk about who's talking in your head. So many times we assume that every voice in our head is our own voice. And sometimes people just assume just because you go to church that God is automatically talking to you. Well, can I tell you, we got to be honest with ourselves. This is where we got to sit down. We got to get in His Word. We got to begin to allow this Word of God to convict us, allow this Word of God to deal with us, allow this Word of God to heal us, allow the Word of God to save us. We got to put the Word of God on the inside of us, and we got to apply it to our life. And then that's when you're going to hear the voice of the living God speaking to you through His Word. So many times people are saying that God is speaking but don't have no prayer life. They saying God is speaking but don't have a life of studying the Word of God. And so you got to ask yourself, so you spend all your time on television, watching TV, you spend all your time on social media, but you're not having any time with God. You got to ask yourself, who's really talking in your head? And so sometimes we got to begin to just stop being busy, and we got to get to a place of prayer. We got to get to a place and say, God, give me an appetite for your word. God, give me an appetite for your word that I can hear your voice. And this is where we got to begin to cast down those voices that we hear. Because sometimes you got a lot of familiar spirits. People are hearing voices in their heads telling them things that has nothing to do with God, but it's a figment of their imagination. It's things what they want to hear. It's strange voices. It's familiar spirits. And when we live in a culture where there's a lot of different voices speaking, and where you have some don't know who's speaking, this is where you got to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make sure that we're hearing God's voice, because you just can't assume I know God's voice without knowing the word. And just checking the box saying, oh, you read the 23rd Psalms, oh, I'm good. No, that means what is he saying to you? This is what we got to allow the word of God to deal with us. We got to begin to hear what the Spirit of God is saying, because God is a spirit. So many times I hear people saying, I'm tired of hearing all this spiritual stuff, but I guess you don't want God. Because guess what? God is a spirit. And just how God is a spirit, the devil is a spirit. And so this is why we got to spend time getting in the word of God so that we can recognize God's voice and stop listening to all these other different voices that is speaking in our head. This is Apostle Biggers-Vails, your deliverance coach. I love you with the love of the Lord. Let's discern who's talking in your head.